This is an Alain Prost race car used in period, and this was a car that competed against Ayrton Senna, which is a legendary race car driver, and Alain Prost in his own right was also a legendary race car driver, and he has guided the careers of many Formula One race car drivers. The size of the steering wheel is incredibly small when you see it in person. But if you take a look at these suspension components as well as some of the braking components, all done by Brembo, you know that this has been a work of art. And the Goodyear sign, because Goodyear at the time was the official tire supplier for Formula One, the way that Pirelli is today. And you see some of the livery that is inscribed throughout various portions of the car. So this is the first thing that you see when you come to AUTOMANIA here in New York City on West 53rd Street in New York. Many of my friends have been asking me, what is a good location if you're coming to New York City for a day? Well, go spend 25 bucks and take a look at some of the race cars. So welcome back to the channel. I am here in New York City looking at some of the wonderful vehicles that we have out here in this outdoor space that is New York City. And of course you have this Porsche 911 contained in the background. It is amazing to look at some of the wonderful vehicles that you have within your immediate vicinity here in the Rockefeller Sculpture Garden. It's a wonderful time here in New York City, and I highly recommend attending AUTOMANIA, which is running here in New York City for quite some time. It is one of these spectacular things that New York City has to offer. Now, if any of you have ever seen the movie Scarface, this car should be very familiar. This was the car that the TV journalist from 60 Minutes was driving on his way to the United Nations with the kids in the back seat. Well, as we all know, Tony Montana prevented that fateful explosion because he believed in wife, kids, and family, which he could never get. Well, this car for me reminds me of Scarface, and it being a red car is kind of cool. And the fact that it's here in New York City, parked not far away from Tudor City Plaza where that scene began, it's a really cool sight to behold. This is a Citroën. This is a French car. You could see it for sale through Hemmings or any other major publication into the 90s. You don't often see them now because the suspension upkeep is very difficult, but the suspension on this car is what made this car different from anything that was available in the marketplace. But it's always a beautiful sight to behold, especially here on AUTOMANIA, and it's well deserving of its place here on the museum floor. The simpler the car, the easier it is to fix, the easier it is to manage and live with on a daily basis. That is one really cool sunroof. Do you think I fit in this back seat? I wonder if these tires are available on Tire Rack. No screens. That's a beautiful thing. Oh, I like this flattened tailpipe. So here you have this glorious Porsche 911, basically produced from 1964 to 1973. It has the long hood as opposed to the short hood that you would see on my car, for example, which is an 88. You would notice some of the key differences between my car and this car. This car, for example, does not have a sunroof. This is an early 911 in a very distinct color. But everything about this car, just being in this garden and being in this outdoor space and this ambiance, makes it a fantastic sight to behold. I highly recommend AUTOMANIA, and it's catching the attention of everybody at the museum. As I continue on the floor of AUTOMANIA, I see a car that is a favorite of mine. This is a Fiat 500, and it's located right in front of the Ivy Garden out here in the MoMA. This is a very cool car, mostly because of the idea that I love small cars, and I drive a small car because small cars just fit everywhere, and they're safer when you're trying to evade a major traffic collision with a truck. So for me, small cars always win, and they are the perfect solution to city driving. And I don't care what anybody says, city driving requires small cars, and I really think that this car right here to my immediate left is a perfect solution for living in the city. And this is, of course, a modern day smart car. The first time I saw one of these was in Europe, and I thought it was a fantastic solution for city driving. But this is the genesis of all small city driving vehicles. The Italian engineers were thinking way ahead of their time, and this was the proper solution for driving in a big city. This is not a car. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AUTOMANIA, where you have a lot of great cars, including this Jaguar E-Type. Now this is a showstopper. Imagine driving this down 5th Avenue as you're stopping by Tiffany & Company or one of your favorite stores, and you're just pulling up into Central Park with your date. I mean, this definitely is the date night car if you've ever seen one, so having one of these is the best. Because if you have one of these, that just means you have taste and you have class. And you're an elegant person who knows how to dress well. I bet James Bond would have one of these, even though he's an Aston Martin guy. Remember these? This looks like a picture behind Citi Field or Shea Stadium. It also has torsion bar suspension. All right, so there you have it. That is AUTOMANIA for you. I was able to film some of the cars. For that portion of the video, that's why you saw a lot of still shots as opposed to continuous film, because I was told kindly to not record. And I think that's in an effort to get more people to come to the museum. So if you do get a chance, please come to the museum, support the arts. So thank you for watching, and I hope you had a good time watching this video, because you're watching cars that are placed in a different medium, not necessarily on the streets, but in a sculpture garden, which makes it for very unique art. And seeing ordinary objects in distinct locations makes it for a very unique experience, and it's definitely a very relaxing thing to do. So come to the MoMA and check it out. It's really cool. Have a great day, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope you like this channel. Take care.